Day number 3 of the Lady Jets Holiday Classic. About to get underway. Tigers and Titans set to do battle. Tigers coming in with a 7-5 mark. Titans with a 2-14, but the Tigers lost yesterday. Titans won it. As we get your basketball in progress, and decked out in the black is the visiting squad, Northeast Mississippi. Meanwhile, in the light gray, it is the Titans of St. Petersburg as we take a look at the starters for Northeast Mississippi. Green, Griffin, Houston, Hawkins, and Kirksey on the floor. Meanwhile, taking a look at the 5 who begin this one for St. Petersburg. And it is Foreen, Fisame, Stanek, Lake, and Sanders. Robert Williamson set to bring you the coverage. 3 games today after a 4-game yesterday. Into the hands of Hawkins. Hawkins with a drive, banks it off the glass. And you got a 1-point contest. 3 great games today, and you got another matchup today featuring a couple of ranked teams. Yesterday it was Shelton State and Chipola. Today it will be Shelton State and Eastern Florida. Standing, giving it out front. That is Lake. Feeds back down low. Fisama with a miss. Hand into Hawkins. Topside give goes to Green. Out of the corner, Kirksey, and that will wind up in the hands of Foreen. Drive just outside the paint and then bumped off the window by Lake. Off the glass, Hawkins with a miss, down with the rebound. It is Griffin. Turnaround, put back, 5 feet out, won't drop. And Foreen. Sending it over to Sanders. Stanek rolling it around the cylinder, comes out. Houston working into the timeline, back out front. Over to Hawkins, gave a look into the corner. Working it top side, picking up the dribble. That is Griffin. Griffin with a lean in, the one-hander no good. Lake taking it for St. Petersburg into the floor. And that is Lake, missing from the charity stripe. Fisame had it, lost it, picked up by Hawkins. Three en route, misfiring is Hawkins. Pull-up jumper, not there. Green able to snag it. Over to Houston, Houston in the corner. Squares up, gives a look, 12 feet away. Shot miss, Fisame. Snagging the rebound and handing over to Sanders. Handed to Fisame. Fisame in the paint. Off the iron, rebounded by Stanek. Lake with a miss from long range. Back to the glass for 2. And it looks like our scoreboard has either disconnected from the scoreboard on the opposite side of the floor or had a brief interruption in service. We'll check that out in a moment and take the scoreboard off the board at the moment. And you got a foul on the drive by Foreen. Seven-two ball game. We've lost our scoreboard momentarily. We're hoping, as I mentioned, to be able to figure out what the issue is on the opposite side of the floor. But it is a 7-2 contest. St. Petersburg with the lead. Drive into the paint. That is a new face on the floor. Taisha James checking into the game. Pabst into the ball game. Shot misses from inside the paint, opposite end of the floor. Got the drive, got the offensive. It will be charged to Griffin. Trying to work out our technical issues and figure out why I currently do not have a scoreboard. We'll do that while we take a media break. 4:29 left to play. Quarter number one in a 7-4 game.
South Georgia Technical College, where we make it happen.
Whether your dream is to become a welder, a nurse, a restaurant owner, electrician, or aircraft mechanic, South Georgia Technical College can help you make it happen. SGTC has over 200 associate degree, diploma, and technical certificate of credit programs of study available. Visit our website at southgatech.edu for more information or to apply, or call 800-928-0283.
So what are you waiting for? Let's make it happen.
We are going to figure out what our issues are with the scoreboard. So in the meantime, I'll do a manual scoreboard operating. Yeah, I mentioned previously it's a one-man band, so I have to wait till halftime to go to the other side of the floor and see what the issue is to be able to fix matters. But I'll manually, heck, what's another duty, right? Camera, play-by-play, can't do any of them particularly well. Might as well add scorekeeping. Into the hands of Hawkins off the miss. And there was a reach and a foul by Sanders. Down low, trying to get it to Houston. Houston Able to tip it back onto the floor, but she got a walk from Hawkins. So St. Petersburg with a basketball in a 7-4 game. 3:53 to play. Quarter number 1. Coming up at halftime, by the way, we'll talk with Dave Elner, who is the commissioner of the GCAA. Sanders lobbing to Jackson into the ball game. Uses the left hand for 2. Draws the foul and has a chance for 3. Ten for St. Petersburg lead. Yeah, I'm being a little extra quiet during free throws. That's because not only is our video on the big screen here, but so is my audio. We can't figure out how to get that out. As you got a foul and a trip to the line. Griffin. One of 2 turns it into a 10-5 game. Lake working her way to the opposite end of the floor, feeds it down to the baseline. Sanders outside of the arc. Jackson into the paint. Again using that left hand. This time couldn't get it to drop. Hawkins with it. Ball left behind Houston. Going back trying to retrieve, and instead it will roll out of bounds. And as Pabst with the drive to the hoop, swatted into the paint. Pabst wrapping it up. Green was there too. Also Caitlin Levy. And the jump ball will favor St. Petersburg with the possession. Brought in from the baseline. Sanders in play, trying to get it to Jackson. He was tipped away by Kelsey Federick into the game. But right back into the hands of Sanders. And don't forget, trying to get to 5,500 YouTube subscribers. And coming into today, 35 shy. Standing down the floor. Gives it to Sanders, and Sanders with a miss. .205 to go in the opening stanza. Fires down to Standing. Standing shooting the 3 ball. And Faurine will climb over the back of Green, trying to come up with the rebound. So it'll be Tiger basketball. Northeast Mississippi losing to Daytona State yesterday, 64-60. While the Titans of St. Petersburg knocked off Chattanooga State. Five-point game with 90 seconds to play in the first. Levy putting up the three, just a little bit short, rebounded by Foreen. Sanders to Stanek off the glass. And that'll be tipped out of bounds. Apparently last got the fingertips of Levy. Luis Pierre coming into the ball game, put in play to Stanek. Too strong with the toss down low. Trying to get it to Jackson out of bounds off Jackson. And with a minute 10 to go in the opening stanza, it'll be Northeast basketball. Trying to save it on the floor. Green throws it out of bounds. And Sanders puts it in play. Back to Sanders, top side, Northeast Mississippi, by the way. I mentioned yesterday, big football season for Northeast. I believe Petit, the running back, has agreed to play football next year at Coastal Carolina. Outstanding year for Northeast Mississippi this year. Foreen putting it in play to Sanders. 35 seconds left in the first. Got to roll towards midcourt, able to retrieve it with Sanders, goes to Pierre. And Pierre near the elbow, a little bit short. Jackson is there for a little team support. Calkins too strong, Sanders with it. And that'll do it for the stanza. After one, St. Petersburg by a touchdown and an extra point kick. Just about all White Jones County. Diving catch at shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it. He's a good young man who does a lot of extra stuff here. He's like a carrier and gets the stats and brings them to all of us. Does a lot of the extra work, the behind-the-scenes stuff. And relaxing a little bit. During the game, that's when he gets to sit back and relax. It's between quarters, halftime, before game, after game that he's extra busy. Quarter number 2 underway. Three-pointer just a little bit short. That is Kirksey with a miss. Lake taking it to the other end of the floor. Again, our apologies. Our device that reads the data off the scoreboard on the other side of the floor apparently has shut down. We'll correct that at halftime. I mentioned I'm a one-man band. So, I mean, tech guy, too. That's the dangerous part of a one-man band. Me and tech-related items, oh, boy, that's scary in itself. Contact initiated by Fulton. And Fulton will pick up the foul 30 seconds into the second. A new face on the floor belongs to Gabriella Stevens. Stevens with a miss. And then you're going to walk after the rebound by Fulton. And it'll be St. Petersburg basketball. Pierre to put it in play from the baseline. Stevens into the corner. Then back over to Pierre. Pierre with the perimeter 2, and she's got it. A 9-point St. Petersburg lead. And there's another walk. And it'll be St. Petersburg basketball. Length to Stanek. Stevens back over to Pierre. And Pierre will walk with it. So the Tigers with the basketball. 16-7 contest. St. Petersburg played on Saturday. They and South Georgia Tech, the only teams to play Saturday. As the 3 ball is dropped in. And as a result of this being their 3rd game of the Classic, St. Petersburg will head home after this one. Question is, will they go home with a better than 500 mark or a less than 500 record? If Northeast has anything to do with it, it'll be a less than. Too strong with the toss to Stevens from late. Put in play to Houston. Into the corner, 3-pointer en route. Misfiring is Levy. Rebounded Stanek. Over to Sanders. Shoots it into the corner, bringing it baseline, off the glass for 2. That is Foreen. Off the glass for 2 for Griffin. (18-12) contest. Wasn't there a song? 18-12 took a little trip down the mighty Mississippi. Something. Okay, that was a little bit before my time. Yesterday I was talking about 70 songs. I'm thinking that was like a 40s song. And no, I was not around in the 40s. Out front it goes to Kirksey. Back over to Houston. Topside give. Hawkins. I checked that. That was Griffin, and Griffin walked with it. Isame back into the ball game for St. Petersburg. Pabst coming in. Also Harmony Randolph into the game. All for St. Petersburg. Green coming back into the contest for the Tigers. Out of the corner comes Lake. Pass intended for Fisame, able to get it back late. Nice move to the glass for two, and St. Petersburg with the game's first double-digit lead. .5:37 to go, quarter number two. Dave Elder, the commissioner of the GCAA, is our halftime guest. And then tomorrow, David Finley will be our feature at halftime. Top side to Sanders. Puts it up near the stripe. Paps coming down with a rebound. Back to the glass. Banks it off the window. Hits the bucket and gets a chance for three. Largest lead of the half, halfway through quarter number two, a 25-14. St. Petersburg lead. Houston just a little bit strong. Rebounded by Fisame, goes to Sanders. Lake to a wide open Randolph, and she'll hit it. And we have got a Northeast Mississippi called timeout, but I think it will become our media timeout as we are inside 5 to go in half number one. I believe I recognize that face. I think that is the face of one Tim Estes, who is a host for a podcast here in the Americus area. Handles sports in the Americus area too. Haven't seen Tim lately. Also very much involved with the GRPA, the Georgia Recreation and Parks Association. I think travel ball, and yep, not a surprise to see Tim watching basketball between the holidays here at South Georgia Tech. That is Namiah Davis, who has checked into the game for the Tigers. Fenrick has come in. Tyson James in. A lot of changes coming out in timeout. Fulton in and Levy. And there was a walk by Davis. And a region of foul on Lake. Inside 4 to play, half number one. Glass got a Titan on the way out and coming into the game for Reed for St. Petersburg. Out goes late. Into Fenwick. And a foul called as James brings it to the glass. James, a little better than 8 points per contest, a 58% free throw shooter. And she'll go 1 of 2. Jackson getting it to Amy Manzano, who is into the ball game. Manzano has picked up some quality minutes in her playing time. 3:15 to go, half number 1. First of 3 games here on a Monday. Next to the last day in 2024. If you got to do it this year, you better do it soon. That is Levy. Contact. It will be of the offensive variety. Pabst charged with the foul. Ran into Fulton. Levy to put it in play from the baseline on the opposite end of the floor. James out of the corner and gives top side to Fulton. Fulton taking it to the right side and had the hand of Randolph on her. It will be a non-shooting foul. Put in play to Fenwick. Back into the corner to Davis. Davis missing on the 3 try. Rebounded by Jackson, finds an outlet, goes to Randolph. 3 around the cylinder and finally in for Pabst. Got a quintet of new Tigers getting ready to come into the ballgame. All headed to the scorer's table at the 142 mark. Here in half number 1. It has been a good tournament thus far for St. Petersburg. Obviously, they would have liked to have knocked off South Georgia Tech in their opening game of the Classic on Saturday, but had a 7-point lead with about 2 minutes to go in the game. Sanders taking it baseline. One-hander not there, rebounded by Fulton. Check that by Hawkins, and Hawkins getting a pass underneath into the hands of Griffin, who hits the bucket and has a chance for 3. Griffin, a 65% free throw shooter. Second leading scorer on the team by a 1/10 of a point. averages 12.3, and Hawkins averages 12.4. Pabst with a nice little move to the glass. Inside a minute to go in half number one, which means we're about 2 minutes away from me figuring out what happened to our scoreboard. We'll have a clock and a 30-second clock for you in the second half, I think. It will depend upon my limited technological skills as the foul is committed, and Griffin is back at the stripe. Griffin, the 65% free throw shooter on a team that hit 63% of their charity shots. 1 of 2 will go Griffin. 41 seconds left in the half. 14-point St. Petersburg lead. And Zano got the look, couldn't get it to fall. Green's got it, going the other way. Stolen away by Manzano. Gives over to Pabst. Puts up the perimeter 2, and she'll pop it. Hawkins with an air ball on the 3. We've got 9/10 of a second left in the half. And that is going to be it for 2 quarters of basketball. So the Classic's third day is underway, and at the half, St. Petersburg with a lead of 16. Dave Elner, the commissioner of the GCAA. He's our halftime feature on New Year's Eve. Great to have with us as our halftime guest, the commissioner of the GCAA, Dave Elner. Dave Elner, how you doing?
We're filming this on a Monday, and it's been Monday, 3 Zoom calls, a NJCAA football poll call and poll voting, player of the week. I think I probably covered most of it, but it's a good problem to have. Let's put it this way.
It's another Monday, I assume.
And it's always a good day in athletics, even if it's a problem.
Well, a lot of folks don't know that you wear multiple hats. Even though you gave away some of your hats in years gone by, like the baseball chair and et cetera, you still have got a multiplicity of jobs beyond commissioner. So what are some of those jobs? I know you work with the football polls. What else?
Well, commissioner, men's region director, football committee member. This is trouble. Beach volleyball. I'm picking up where James Frey left off as a GCA member on beach volleyball. So now I had three last year: skeet shooting, golf, and tennis, and I've been on those. And I just felt like I needed to change something different. I had not served on the football committee. Rob Nielsen at Snow had to roll off as he was taking over as NJCA senior men's administrator. I'll get it out here in a minute. And so I felt it was good for me to hop in there to try to give some support to the independent teams in football, because, Texas is a league, Kansas is a league, Mississippi is a league. And then you've got the 4 of us, Snow, Lackawanna, GMC, a couple others that we really just have to sort of try to fight to get some recognition there, So doing those things and enough to keep me busy. Let's put it that way.
Now you mentioned the gentleman rolling off of one of the committees. Is an appointment to a committee or as a chair? Is it for an allotted time frame, or do you kind of take it on a year-to-year type basis?
No, as region directors, we're able to put in what we'd like to serve on. Now, of course, everybody would love to serve on the baseball committee or the basketball committee, those committees, which are, highly visible committees. But, I've always taken it. I did serve as baseball chair, national baseball chair for 7 years, and I rolled off of it. And I had somebody come up to me at an annual meeting and said, "What's wrong?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Why are you giving up baseball chair?" I said, "Because I've served for 7 years. It's not something that you're entitled to. Our jobs, because we're our volunteers, are to provide service." And that's the way I looked at it, just like our public service people across the country. If they would probably do that, and I'm not going into politics here, I think we would all be a better place if people would realize what their role is to actually serve, not be served.
Let me put in a amen to term limiting, and I'll stop there. All right, let's talk about football. The fact that not only did you have a GMC this year, but you had a GCAA conference with Andrew College and Central Georgia Tech. How did that go?
It went well. I mean, Georgia, both of those schools, Andrew and Central Georgia Tech, first year, got their feet wet. They played a lot of prep schools, and now we're having some conversations. All right, guys. If you want to be looked at, people will look at this like the poll committee and everybody else. You were 9-1 Central Georgia Tech, but you've got to start playing NJCAA schools. And the national office is looking at something. They're having discussions about not counting those non-NJCAA schools when it comes to stats for All-American, those type things, and polls and those things. So it gives more credibility from that standpoint, I understand, but there's also limitations sometimes because not everybody, for example, like us in Georgia, we don't have the luxury of having 8 football teams, unlike, say, a Mississippi or a Kansas or a Texas like that, where they don't have to travel as much. So, those type things come into play.
The 2 teams that were new, well, in essence, helped create the conference, are they back next year? And is there the possibility of adding more?
They are back. I don't foresee us adding any more. I think what we'll see is the coaches are discussing now. This is okay. We might just end up playing each other on a home and home. For example, this year Georgia Military had Uriah Prep and Clayton State. What would benefit Georgia Military that aspect is to drop 2, and even if it's just playing Clayton State and Andrew again, that looks better on paper from that aspect. So we'll see how that goes. I think they'll keep playing, and I think give them a little bit. This is just getting your feet wet kind of year for those 2. But I think moving forward, I got a feeling both of them will look at trying to play a little more difficult schedule and see how – it doesn't benefit them to play a prep team and win 45-0. It doesn't. If you're going to do that, you might as well stay a club team. So I think it'll benefit them to maybe try to play some others, and they might have to travel a little bit more from that aspect.
Obviously, I did not go to Central Georgia Tech or Andrew College, but what are their facilities like, their home stadiums?
Central Georgia Tech has a nice turf field. Andrew's playing on a high school field. So they don't have the luxury of GMC from that standpoint. Davenport Stadium has been there for a long time. But they do Andrew will probably have to go back and look because they did have an old football field back on the middle of their campus, and I don't know how they utilize that now. And so I don't know if that'll change for them moving forward or not. We'll just have to see.
All right, basketball-wise, we are into basketball season, so we got to talk a little round ball. Is it in postseason as it has been where the highest remaining seed after the quarterfinals host both men and women?
That is correct. So we'll have that play-in game on that Tuesday, and I think that's the end of February, 1st of March. We'll have that play-in game, and then the highest remaining seed will host the semis on both sides.
How's the basketball season looking? I know it's very early in the year, or it could be a little later when this is re-aired, but how is the basketball season looking?
Well, right now we're sitting at week 3, just getting going there. A lot of teams are doing some of that non-conference travel. Some of our teams going down to Florida, over in Alabama playing, and reciprocating there. South Georgia State has jumped off to a 4-win and no losses at this point. So we'll see where we are down the road. But, once we come back in the 1st of January, everybody will be jumping into conference play for January and February.
I hear just these little whispers of maybe some regions joining other regions due to maybe a lack of the number of schools. I mean, is there any conversation of Region 17? Is it 17?
That's correct.
Yes. Okay. My brain at this age, is there any conversation of it absorbing another or vice versa?
Well, what we've got is, we have 11 teams right now, and then 6 of those schools are USG schools, University System of Georgia. And we have no true junior colleges anymore. Okay. They're all 4-year schools. And so really the talk's been going on for probably about 15 years now. I think it's starting to gain a little headway that these schools really need to look at moving up to 4-year status athletically, which would be NAIA. If we lose those 6, then we're down to 5 schools. Andrew's going, they're talking the same thing. So we're looking at our 4 tech schools in Oxford. If that did come to fruition, I can't see where Region 17 would stand as a standalone conference with 5 schools. You look way back in the crystal ball, back into the 70s when Alabama and Georgia were part of the same conference, and then schools grew at that point, and we made 2 separate conferences at that point. Would Georgia fit better going into Region 10, which is the Carolinas and Virginia? I don't think so, because you go from South Carolina all the way up to West Virginia. And if Georgia came into that would be much further travel. You look at the schools that would remain, and all this is theoretical right now, okay? Mm-hmm. If all those schools that would remain would be west of I-75. So except for, and don't know how Georgia Military would fall, because Georgia Military is sort of a hybrid in the sense. So don't know how those others would fall. It would make sense because look at it this way. Americus is only an hour from the Alabama border. Central Georgia Tech is basically a little bit more, So I think those would probably end up going that route, end up being absorbed there. And the national office has talked about, and preliminary talks about, looking at region realignments and those type things. But I also know that has been put on the shelf for like a couple of years. So I don't expect that to happen for a couple of years. Now, even if the USG said they wanted those 4 schools to go ahead and try to move up to the 4-year level, which would be NAIA, and they made that jump, then it might be something that the remaining, they might just go ahead and say, hey, y'all need to go ahead and move in on this. So there's a lot of pieces that would have to come together for all this. And like I said, this talk's been going on for 15 years. 15 years from now, if it took another 15 years, I can tell you this, I won't be commissioner of the conference at that point. Somebody else will be. And, 5 years down the road, I don't expect, good Lord willing, that I'll still be doing what I'm doing. I'd like to look forward to enjoying some retirement time. Got 1 grandchild and another one on the way in February. And they've got raising kids and grandchildren backwards, because it sure is a whole lot more fun dealing with grandchildren than it is children, because grandchildren, you can give them back. Children, you can't. You're stuck with them.
Well, now you can't leave the conference, because actually I'm an advocate for changing it from the GCAA to the DAVE.
Well, look, hey, if that were to happen, and like I said, all these are hypotheticals, and I generally do not like to get into hypotheticals, what ifs, because that's where worry comes in with people. people worry about things and they never materialize. And there's a lot of unnecessary angst amongst people in that. As my late father used to tell me, and I think I did this as a young tyke, that I used to worry about things and that I couldn't control. And things might never come to fruition. And so worry about things that you can control. And then, God will take care of everything. I firmly believe that. And if that happens, he'll take care of those schools. And then, let's be honest, they'll have to make some hard choices at that point of what they decide to do. Do they want to decide to continue playing? As all our tech schools really just have a couple of teams, So, and our technical school they're workforce driven, which I understand that. That's their mission. I've always been an advocate that athletics can fit in with that workforce-driven mission, and we've had a number of our schools that have proved that. John Watford and South Georgia Tech has been a staunch advocate for us, and I think it's worked for them, and it's brought kids onto that campus in Americus, and then they've moved on to all places across the country. And so, I think things can work. People just have to be open-minded about a lot of stuff.
Dave Elner, we're squeezing you into halftime. It's 15 minutes, and we've taken about 13. So we'll wrap up the conversation. I know we'll talk again, and I know we'll see you in either late February, early March, somewhere in the state of Georgia. We
will, and hey, let's not – softball and baseball, they'll come around, and those seasons will get going in January, and then they'll be playing in May there. So we'll talk about those at a later date.
Dave Elner, Commissioner of the GCAA, thanks for being our halftime guest.
Robert, appreciate you as always, buddy. Thank you.
Well, a little problem in the house. We have lost power to the scoreboard. Well, there is an issue with the scoreboard. It went off. I mean, the power just dropped. Scoreboard went out. Power to the controller went out. And that was just as we were to begin the stands, and it wiped out all the data, too, that was on the board. The score, the players, the fouls, etc. So they're working in this moment to try to get all that data back in. It looks like it is back from a standpoint of score and time and 30-second clock. And I'm sure they will work on fouls and players as we go. And yeah, I did a little bit of my limited IT work. And I think we have got a clock and a 30-second clock for the second half. And all the other data the scoreboard provides. That is Griffin putting up the three ball, a little bit strong, got iron. Meanwhile, down with the rebound, Fenrick. Loose ball retrieved by Forey. St. Petersburg with Forain, Lake, Fisame, Jackson, Sanders on the floor. Lake from the stripe. Put back there for Jackson. Meanwhile, there is Green, Houston, Kirksey, Griffin, and let's see who the last remaining. There it is, Hawkins, which means the same five that began the ball game are beginning the second half for Northeast. Fed into the corner to Green. Green out of the corner. Bounce pass goes to Griffin. Griffin with a turnaround. Not there. Rebounded by Sanders. And as I mentioned, our coverage is on the video screen. You got to walk. But the audio is not supposed to be, and it is. So in those quiet moments here in the hangar, I get quiet too. I'm shy. And maybe there is a blessing in disguise to it, a silver lining, if you will, in that got these voice issues, maybe cutting down a little bit will help out, and you're probably on the other end of the broadcast saying, hey, we don't mind if you shut up altogether. Just give us a picture. Give us a scoreboard. I will do that for you. 8:20 to go here in quarter number 3. First of 3 games today. South Georgia Tech is the team that does not play today. They will have their last game of the Classic tomorrow. Got a break at the 8:10 mark in quarter number 3 with St. Pete leading it by 18.
South Georgia Technical College, where we make it happen.
Whether your dream is to become a welder, a nurse, a restaurant owner, electrician, or aircraft mechanic, South Georgia Technical College can help you make it happen. SGTC has over 200 associate degree, diploma, and technical certificate of credit programs of study available. Visit our website at southgatech.edu for more information or to apply, or call 800-928-0283.
So what are you waiting for? Let's make it happen.
Let's see, what could you be checking in on? Football doesn't play until tonight, unless there's a college football game today. So maybe that's what she's checking in on. Could be a video game. Might be her favorite music video. I'm thinking it's not us because, well, we're on the big screen here on each end of the wall. So she wouldn't need the little screen in the palm of the hand. Another travel. I think we have seen more travels in this game than many, if any, prior. Well, still a long way to go in this game. You got the final 7:46 of the third. You got all of the fourth to go. And things could definitely change. As a matter of fact, we saw Northeast Mississippi yesterday in a game against Daytona State where they were down by 17, fought back in quarter number 4. But if things stay as is, you're talking about one of the biggest margins between teams. Prior games have been nothing but tight. Every one of them, the 5 prior to this one. Shot up by Green, able to put it in over Jackson. And I guess technically we're at the midway of the Classic. As far as games played, we played 5.5 and got 5.5 to go. So halftime of this one, we were halfway there. Though day-wise, we've only got a day left. Started it all Saturday, and we'll wrap it up all on Tuesday. 3-ball dropped in by Green. And a timeout on the floor called for by St. Pete. Anisha Davidson saying, hey, we don't want what happened yesterday against Daytona State to happen today against St. Pete. Northeast Mississippi, though, would love that idea. Just about all White Jones County. Diving catches shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it. There are some of the ladies that will be competing in the game following. There are some members of the Eastern Florida team that will be taking on Shelton State. That'll be 23-9 battling in the game coming up. Lake over to Foreen. Gives it to Pabst. Pabst the leading scorer in the first half with 10 points. By the way, taking a look at those first half stats. Pabst led St. Pete with 10. The leader for Northeast Mississippi was Griffin with 8. 3 tied for the rebounding lead in the first half for Northeast. That was Green, Griffin, and Hawkins, each with 3. Top rebounder in half number 1 for St. Pete, Lake, who had 4. Foreen, the assist leader in the first half for St. Petersburg with 3. And if you were looking at first half foul issues, nobody had 3. The biggest fouler, as that is put in by Hawkins from long range, was 2. And it was Hawkins for the Tigers. And it was Foreen, Randolph, and Lake for St. Petersburg. And if you're looking at maybe a couple of stats that really tell the story of the first half, that was bench scoring and points off turnovers. And St. Petersburg led convincingly in both. 25 bench points to 3 for Northeast. And in turnovers, 13 points off turnovers for the Titans and 3 for the Tigers. But that was one half. This is another one. And the lead that was once 18 trimmed to 10. Both free throws good for Lake as we approach the 5-minute mark in quarter number 3. Houston able to drop it in for a pair. We had a couple of timeouts prior to the 5-minute mark. One of them might have been combined with a media timeout, so I'm not sure that we will take a media break at the next dead ball. Grabbed by Sanders in the corner. 10-footer went 12. Late with a rebound in the 2. Little contact there. It is going to be charged to the St. Pete's Harris. Callie Harris, who has checked into the game, and I think we are apparently going to observe the media timeout. 4:11 to play in the third. St. Petersburg leading it by 12. Another one of the Titans who will be competing in a bit, taking on Shelton State. She might be a little camera shy. Leave me alone. Got a basketball game to focus on. Taking on another team ranked in the top 25. In play to Houston. 4:07 to play. Here in quarter number 3, it was an 18-point lead. By the way, when you look at the first half stats, largest lead of the first half was 16. And your best runs of the half was a St. Pete 10-3 run and a Northeast Mississippi 3-0 run. And we got a shot clock violation. Officials confirming. Fed out to Pabst, and Pabst walked with it. An opportunity to trim it to 10 again, or maybe even 9, depending on shot selection. As it is batted away, stolen away, and taken to the other end. Contact, and Harris goes down hard. And we'll head to the stripe and shoot. Off from the front of the iron. One of 2. Turning it into a 13-point ball game. Houston's got it out front. Over it goes to Green. And a whistle and foul on this end of the floor. And it'll be Green going to the strike as we get inside 3. Jackson out of the game. Green in. Green shooting. Green is 65% free throw shooter. And in the first half, did not go to the stripe. Gets one of two here. Griffin back in. Fennerin coming off the floor for the Tigers. Spin move by Sanders finds Harris wide open down low, missed the bunny. Hand it over to Hawkins. Outside of the arc, that is Houston. Top side to Griffin. Hawkins into the paint. Nice feed. And the bucket good for Kalen Levy. In play to Past. As we get inside, a couple of minutes to play in the third. Stolen away. It is Griffin with the steal. And it's stolen right back, ironically, by the threes on the steal. Had 3 Griffin and 3 for Reed. Two-shot foul. Houston. I thought the official indicated a 2-shot foul. But apparently no. Brought in from the baseline instead. Foureen with a miss. Fisame could not get the putback. Houston with it. Nice no-look, and Griffin for 2. Send to Pabs, turns around, brings it the other way. Link picking up the dribble, back it goes to Pabs. And down low to Fisame. Sanders topside give Pabs. Pabs bringing it to the elbow, and she'll drop it in for 2. Pabs able to retrieve the loose ball. Sends it to the other end of the floor to Foureen, and Foureen extending the lead to 12. Levy with a putback off of the Hawkins miss. And that will send us to quarter number 4. In a 10-point game. Lead has been as much as 18 in the second half. And it's been as little as 10.
South Georgia Technical College, where we make it happen.
Whether your dream is to become a welder, a nurse, a restaurant owner, electrician, or aircraft mechanic, South Georgia Technical College can help you make it happen. SGTC has over 200 associate degree, diploma, and technical certificate of credit programs of study available. Visit our website at southgatech.edu for more information or to apply, or call 800-928-0283.
So what are you waiting for? Let's make it happen.
We're the hangar in Americus, Georgia. Home to a lot more than just basketball. There is, of course, Plains, Georgia, the home of the now late Jimmy Carter. 10 miles away, there's Andersonville, the Civil War prisoner of war camp turned into a massive cemetery recognizing and honoring veterans. I think about 13,000 veterans buried there. You've got the Haunted Hotel downtown, the Windsor. And you got some celebrities in the local cemetery. I know that may sound a little morbid. I guess maybe it is. But it is, Mormon as it may be, an attraction of sorts. Pabst with a miss. Rebounded by Griffin. Feeds down to Fulton. Fulton with a miss. I know where Jimmy Carter is concerned, the state funeral will be on the 9th. I am assuming, I think it's probably a pretty accurate assumption that he will be buried next to his wife on their property there in Plains. Farine to Pabst, and Pabst leans in for the strike. Rebounded by Green. Tipped out of bounds by Sanders. Jackson coming into the game out, and we'll go for Sami. Griffin got the separation, got the look, couldn't get it to fall. Lake with the rebound. Final game of the day is, I believe, Chattanooga State and Daytona State. And I see members of the Falcons making their way into the hangar. Here for the 5 o'clock game. Of course, the 3 p.m. game is the big matchup, Eastern Florida and Shelton State. 9-23 Tangling. A couple of teams that are once beaten on this floor. This classic, by the way. Jackson hitting the 2. I mean, that's how stiff the competition is here. If you're coming to the Classic hoping to pad the schedule, make it look good, well, it might look good. It might not. And you got some stiff competition. Not going to be an easy 3 games here at the Classic. A timeout on the floor, and is asked for by Northeast Mississippi. And it apparently is a break of the 30-second variety. Jackson from the corner, out front to Sanders, given over to Pabst. And Pabst dropping in the 8-footer. Federick down low, and I think that was actually intended for Kirksey, but led her substantially too much. So St. Petersburg with the basketball and a 14-point lead. Lake outside to Sanders, whips into Jackson, into the corner to Pabst. Air ball on the 3. And that will belong to Northeast Mississippi. Here comes Green back into the game for the Tigers. Griffin in 2. Out goes Federick and Kirksey. Out of bounds down low off Levy. Titans to put it in play with the pass to Lake. Foreen to Jackson. That is Jackson with a long 2. Just a little bit too long, but the rebound belongs to St. Pete. Sanders giving Jackson another opportunity. How about a third try? Well, third time, not the charm. Other end of the floor, Houston with it. Green knocking down the 3. Tigers have not had it in the single digits in the second half. As close as they have come is 10, when it was a 40-30 game. Pabst with a jumper, too strong. Jackson grabbing the rebound over Hawkins. Loose ball that Green winds up with. There is another 3, this one from Hawkins. And you've got an 8-point game. As close as the Tigers have come in half number 2. That is Jackson with a miss. Rebounded by Pabst. Put back, no, won't fall. Levy with the rebound and gives it to Houston. And a chance for the Tigers to turn it into a 6. How about a 5-point game? Green with a miss. Pabst had the look, couldn't get it to drop. Levy. Back over to Levy, and she'll bank it off the glass. And that will prompt a St. Pete timeout. Tigers trimming the lead to 6. Just about all White Jones County. Diving catches shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Kraft's got it. Long throw over, and he got it. A discussion going on there between officials. Looks pretty intense. I mean, not fractionally intense. Just a little more involved than your typical timeout conversation between officials. .356 to go. Unless, of course, we go to OT, which we did last night. Last game of the night, we couldn't wrap it up in regulation. Decided to send an extra 5. Tipped out of bounds by Houston. And another close ball game. 6 ones in the Classic and 6 close ones in the Classic. And really not expecting anything less from the game coming up. Shelton State and Eastern Florida. Nor the game that follows between the two states. Daytona and Chattanooga. Lake had to force it up with the shot clock expiring. Jackson going to be charged with a foul. And that has got Hawkins shooting. That lead narrows by 1 to a 5-point game. And still plenty of time to go. Making every possession significant now. Not that they weren't all significant anyway, but a little more so now, with a little more urgency. That is Lake with a ring around the Posey. I think that's the old saying, right? Ring around the Posey. No, Mosey? Rosie? Oh, heck, it has been so long. Ring around the Rosie. Pocket full of tails. Better get back to the basketball. Got a foul, got a chance to turn this into about a 5-point game if you were successful at the stripe and you're Hawkins. I think it's ring around the Rosie. I'm stuck on that. Pocket full of something. But for Lake, it was a ring around the cylinder and dropped it in. As did Hawkins from the stripe and turned it into a 5-point game. Give it over to Lake. And she will bang it off the leg of Hawkins to keep possession. In play to Sanders. From the elbow, Jackson with a miss. Rebounded by Houston. And she'll push it down the floor and hit two. A one-possession game with 1:46 to go. The lead has been as much as 18 in half number two. But the Tigers have battled back. Lake over to Jackson into the corner. It is tipped out of bounds with 6 on the shot clock. Big possession for St. Pete. They will get a jump ball that sends us to the other end of the floor. And the Tigers with a chance to make it a 1-point or tie game. Nearing the 1-minute mark. Talk about big possessions. Houston got the separation, banked it, not there. Rebounded by Pabst. Well, still a one-possession game, and you are better than halfway through the shot clock, so you are not fouling if you are the Tigers on this possession to get the basketball. Lake with a miss on the three. That's dropped in from long range by Hawkins. Make that Griffin. Griffin with a big three. And we get a timeout on the floor in a 55 each game. Well, I don't know if that is to literally cool players off or if it is kind of a figurative, you're red hot kind of thing. But my, you're talking about a team that was down by 18 and did not quit. Tigers have tied it up on the Griffin three. And with 24 seconds left in regulation, we don't know who the heck's going to win this one. We do know it is the last game of the Classic for St. Pete. They want to leave on a winning note. We do know the Tigers don't care if the Titans want to leave on a winning note. They want to win this one as well. Well, what we are in store for as fans are a great finish. Another fantastic finish. In a 55-all game with 24 seconds remaining. And now you've got a timeout asked for by St. Petersburg in this game of chess now. Trying to figure out the other team's move based on where they put the pawns.
South Georgia Technical College, where we make it happen.
Whether your dream is to become a welder, a nurse, a restaurant owner, electrician, or aircraft mechanic, South Georgia Technical College can help you make it happen. SGTC has over 200 associate degree, diploma, and technical certificate of credit programs of study available. Visit our website at southgatech.edu for more information or to apply, or call 800-928-0283.
So what are you waiting for? Let's make it happen.
Well, I think that's the same lady we had a shot of earlier in the game who was seated elsewhere but was still focused. Focused on that handheld computer. "24 ticks left on the clock. And if you were St. Pete, you want to run 24 of the 24.6 remaining off the clock and hit the bucket. So for St. Pete, and you got a 3-second violation. Their hope was to hit the last shot, win it, deny an opportunity for Northeast Mississippi to even get an opportunity to respond, but instead 3 seconds, and it will now be Northeast Mississippi with the same intent. And there are the Lady Buccaneers getting ready for the matchup coming up. That matchup between Eastern Florida and Shelton State, a battle of the top 25s. It might happen in 16 seconds, and it might not. Got a foul called on for me. Big free throws coming up. Hawkins an 80% free throw shooter. Of course, the foul may not necessarily all be bad. It does give you an opportunity, if you are St. Pete, to get the ball back and get a look. Have a chance to tie or win. 10 seconds is certainly ample time to get it to the other end of the floor. Well, maybe ample time. Maybe not. They're not going to get a shot off. And Northeast Mississippi, which was down by 18 at one point in the second half, comes back and wins it 57-55. Well, they've already taken the data off the scoreboard on the other side of the floor to get ready for the next matchup. So we'll wrap it up too. Eastern Florida and Shelton State coming up as Northeast Mississippi wins their first of the Classic in come from behind fashion, 57-55.